Hey everybody, I'm Jordan. That's my real name, not a real doctor. And ever since we started putting out these new videos, we've been getting a lot of questions like, is crack back? And who the heck is this guy? And will I ever find love? And so, yeah, figured I'd take some time to try and answer some of those questions. So let's just get into it. So, yeah, in October of 2016, I quit my job so that I could focus on music. And it took me like a week until I realized, that wasn't wise. And so I was trying to think of ways to make money. And one of the things I remembered is that my favorite website, Cracked, took unsolicited articles and ideas and stuff. So I pitched them an idea about Star Wars things that would never show up in the movies, like in the EU. And yeah, they accepted it and they paid me, which was nice. And I got hooked on it, so I just started writing for them all the time. In 2017, I wrote like 65 articles for them or something, and I used that to get an internship at Paste magazine. I wrote another like 400 articles for them, and things seemed like they were going great. And that summer, I was living in Atlanta when I was writing for Paste, and I took the opportunity to fly out to LA with my wife, and I pretended that we were just kind of like celebrating our anniversary or something, but really I was just trying to get access to the Cracked headquarters. I was telling them I was just in the area, but there's no way I was just in the area. And I was wondering if I could come hang out, and I did. Tried to meet some people, got to meet Dan O'Brien, which was a big moment for me. And yeah, everything seemed to be going great. I came home, back to Virginia after the Paste internship ended, and I realized things weren't going that well in the publishing industry because, yeah, as I was as I was working at my desk at Paste, people all over the office were like getting let go. They let go of like the food editor, and they let go of other people. It probably should have tipped me off that things weren't great, but yeah, I still thought things were going well until, like everyone else, December of 2017, Cracked, and really EW Scripts fired everybody. And, my dreams of being hired by Cracked kind of fell apart. I spent the next year writing for a bunch of different websites like The Hard Times and Ranker and stuff. And then ultimately was looking for a full-time job, which I got as a music director at a church in Charlottesville, Virginia, which is where I am now. Even though I've been working full time, I was still writing some stuff, writing some columns and some interviews and some whatever on the side for Cracked. And I keep watching all their YouTube videos, but I kind of exhausted my supply of their back catalog. And I was talking to a friend, and I was like, I really wish they made more of them. That was something I was trying to get into there at the end, was writing more scripts for these videos. But obviously it all fell apart. And I said, I wonder if we could do that with one of my articles. So in December of 2019, like 5 months ago or whatever, I went to my buddy and was like, hey, what if I wrote a script and talked about it? Do you think you could shoot it? Do you think you could make it look kind of cool like their old videos? And he thought he could. So we bought a crappy green screen, borrowed a camera and a mic, and shot it in his basement. It was freaking terrible. We didn't understand how the teleprompter worked at all, so I was looking like over here the whole time compared to where the camera was, and so it was totally unusable. And I was frustrated and mad because I was like, "Well, I would never show anyone this. I look like an idiot." So we shot it again. It looked a little better. I spent a bunch of time editing it, putting it together. It was like 18 minutes long or something, but I was like, it doesn't really matter. It's not like, they haven't been doing videos in 2.5 years besides the people watching stuff. And so, they're not going to take it. But I did know that they got bought out by a new company. So I was like, maybe they'll be interested. So I just cold emailed the Vimeo link to Cyriac Lamar, who is Crack's managing editor. And he liked it, I guess. And then he forwarded it to the parent company, Literally Media. And then they talked about it, and they got back to me that same day and asked for more. And they asked me, like, what I needed to do to make it happen and all this stuff. And I had no idea because if you look at my YouTube channel, I have one video from 2007 that's like a jackass parody ripoff that I did for a class and got a failing grade for because we faked a peeing scene. And I guess that disqualifies you. So I thought it was funny. I think you think a lot of things are funny when you're 15. Yeah, so I already mentioned him, but Caleb Gritzko, who does a bunch of video work in his real life, his professional life, he's been helping me. He's been the main guy down in the basement with me. He runs the teleprompter, and since we don't have a good way to look at it, we didn't pay for a teleprompter program that actually flips it. It can flip it one way, but not for the person actually scrolling. So he actually has like a mirror set up here reflecting down on the teleprompter so that he can run it. So he's not even looking at me or anything except this weird mirror the whole time. So he's helping me. He's also doing all the green screen stuff. He's doing a ton. But we have another guy that helps us with the editing. When literally asked me, how I could possibly do it weekly, one of the things I said was, well, the editing takes forever. And so they got me this guy named Andy who goes through all the raw footage and puts together like a nice basic version of just the me talking stuff, so I don't have to agonize over which take makes me look the least stupid, as if there is such a take. And when I'm writing the scripts, I actually employed, with the promise of food, the help of my buddy Devin Byam, who I've been friends with since first grade, best friends with since ninth grade. We roomed together all 4 years of college, all this stuff. He is a family counselor. Like, he helps kids and stuff. He's like actually helping people in the world. But he's also hilarious. So he helps me a lot with, I haven't done any scripts without first reading them out loud to him and getting his idea for jokes. Like the King Kong flying down his ass crack thing was his idea. Bunch of stuff like that. He's really funny and has seen maybe not as many movies as me, but a good amount of movies. My dad helped us with the graphics stuff, like with the Your Brain on Crack logo and the brain. He's a graphic designer. He owns his own agency or firm or whatever. I think it's called a creative design agency, but I don't know. And so he helped with that. Brian Brushwood over at The Modern Rogue, which is a YouTube channel you should check out, has been really helpful with just talking through what it means to do YouTube. Obviously, I don't have a good handle on it yet still, but he's been really helpful and really encouraging this whole time. I used to write for his, I still write for his website actually, but he's been a good sounding board for some of this stuff as well. Yeah, my angle, if there is one, is to kind of draw attention back to some of these old classic shows. I mean, I've been watching Cracked and reading Cracked for a long time, and I don't know, I wanted to find a way to get people, like new people, to come check out all this stuff. We didn't actually expect to get picked up or anything. It was kind of just a fun thing to do to emulate, guys like Swaim or Soren or obviously Daniel O'Brien. And so, we're just kind of making it because it's fun. And I think it's a way to get people who didn't realize Cracked even existed as a channel in. And even if they hate my crap, it's fine because hopefully they can click around and they'll find After Hours or Obsessive Pop Culture Disorder or any of the other great shows. A couple of quick thoughts on that. So the first thing is that guys like Jack O'Brien and Soren and Swaim had all technically left in 2017 to do other stuff. Soren writes for American Dad, and Jack O'Brien does his own podcast thing now called The Daily Zeitgeist. And Michael Swaim writes for IGN, and he has his own YouTube channel, Small Beans, which you should absolutely check out. But yeah, pretty much everybody else was fired in, I think it's December 4th, 2017. The whole video team was just mass laid off. This was because of the company EW Scripts at the time that owned Cracked, I guess, didn't think they were getting the money on their investment or whatever. And I don't know a ton about that. I'm going to link to a Jason Pargin video, the former Cracked editor, in the description, where he explains all this in much better detail than I ever could. But then in September 2019, EW Scripts sold Cracked to Literally Media, who who are the people that own it now. And they, didn't fire the whole video team and are actively looking to make more video, apparently. I think I was just kind of in the right place at the right time. As far as where they all are, I already said where some of them are. Daniel O'Brien writes for Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which is really cool. Swain was with Small Beans. You should check them out. Cody Johnston kept his news show going. It's called Some More News. They're on YouTube, and they have a Patreon as well. Guys like Tom Ryman and Dave Bell went on to do a podcasting network and a video sketch network and stuff called Gainfully Unemployed. You should check them out. I'm trying to see if I forgot anything. Alex Schmidt actually still works for Cracked, and he does the podcast. And he's done his own podcast recently on the bison emoji that he created. I haven't listened to it yet, so I'm not entirely sure how that works. Daniel and Soren have a podcast called Quick Question, which is actually pretty great. I've been listening to it a bunch. I'm sure there's a lot more people out there. If you know of any, you should comment and direct people to it, because again, the whole thing here is trying to draw attention to these guys and the things that they built. So I don't intend to reboot any shows directly, and I don't know if there's any chance of cast members coming back, but I would love to work with them in any capacity, either on their channels or on our channel or whatever. I'm just kind of along for the ride. I rip it off because it's awesome. But also, I'm not really ripping it off. Commenter actually pointed out yesterday, I think, that I'm actually, if I'm ripping anything off, I'm a lot closer to Reckless Disagreement. But I think in general, what I'm ripping off is the Cracked vibe. At least that's my hope. It's the it's the Reckless Disagreement, the hilarious Helmet history, some news, the spit take, all these things. There is sort of a Cracked vibe. And when we were writing the pilot and filming it, which we ended up filming 3 times, actually, because even the second pilot sucked, so we kind of reshot that as well. You might think the third pilot sucked, which is fine, but, we tried. I watched so many stinking OPCDs and all these other videos to try and get that in. I was looking at my notes yesterday, and Caleb and I have a Google Doc that we were shifting back and forth, and one of the things on our to-do list was watch Cracked videos until it takes over our soul, or something like that. And I don't know that we succeeded, but enough people think that we're ripping them off that I guess we did. Whether you think it's good or not is obviously up to you. One of the reasons we're doing it right now, at least from my angle, is because I'm in quarantine, and got a lot of free time on my hands and thought it would be fun. Caleb can't really do any video projects elsewhere because, disease and such. And so we, have had a lot of time, so we've been making a bunch. And, as far as from literally or in Crack's perspective, I think they were intending, there's been job postings for video producers out there. I think they were intending to do something with the YouTube channel, but again, quarantine and the pandemic actually kind of hurt those plans. So sort of just very fortuitous that the two things happen kind of at the same time. Right now the plan is to have a new Your Brain on Cracked every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern until, we think we've done a decent first season or whatever. I don't know of any plans to do future stuff, but I'm sure they want to. I'm sure that's in the works, but I'm not like an employee or anything. I'm just a guy in Virginia. Yes, it will be.